Hello and welcome. You're watching News9 Live with me, Neha Khanna. On the show today, we're going to focus on Rahul Gandhi's visit to the United States. Another day, another controversy surrounding Rahul Gandhi. The former Congress president is on a tour of the United States. While addressing a press conference at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., Rahul was asked a question about the Congress party's alliance with the IUML, or the Indian Union Muslim League, a political party in Kerala. He was asked to explain this alliance in light of the fact that the Congress champions the cause of secularism and strongly opposes the BJP's Hindutva politics. In reply to that question, Rahul Gandhi said, and I quote, "The Muslim League is a completely secular party. There's nothing non-secular about the Muslim League. I think the person who has asked this question has not studied the Muslim League." Now, that remark has sparked a major political storm back home, with the BJP lashing out at the Gandhi sign. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju tweeted, and I quote, "Jinnah's Muslim League is a secular party. The party responsible for India's partition on religious lines is a secular party. Extremely unfortunate that some people in India still consider the person who supports the Muslim League as secular." BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya tweeted, "Jinnah's Muslim League, the party responsible for India's partition on religious lines, according to Rahul Gandhi, is a secular party. Rahul Gandhi, though poorly read, is simply being disingenuous and sinister here. It is also his compulsion to remain acceptable in Wayanad," said Amit Malviya. Now, the Indian Union Muslim League is an ally of the Congress-led UDF in Kerala. Rahul Gandhi represented Wayanad in the Lok Sabha before being disqualified from Parliament in a defamation case. The Congress hit back at the BJP, accusing it of spreading fake news and malicious propaganda to target Rahul Gandhi. Congress spokesperson Supriya Shrinate accused Amit Malviya of being a fake news peddler. Congress leader Pawan Khera replied to Amit Malviya's tweet saying, "Are you uneducated? You don't know the difference between Jinnah's Muslim League and Kerala's Muslim League? Jinnah's Muslim League was the one with which your predecessors had an alliance, and then there is another with which the BJP went into an alliance." Khera was referring to the BJP roping in two members of the Indian Union of Muslim League in 2012 to retain control of the Nagpur Municipal Corporation. The other reference was to the BJP's ideological parent, the RSS. The Congress has often stated that the RSS sided with the Muslim League to sit out of the civil disobedience movement, and that the two were allies in propagating the two-nation theory before India's independence and partition in 1947. Remember, in the months leading up to the recent Karnataka elections, there were plenty of religious controversies over issues such as hijab, halal, a call by some right-wing Hindu groups for an economic boycott of Muslims, and towards the end, there was a major row over Bajrang Bali, that's Lord Hanuman. The question is, in the run-up to the 2024 parliamentary elections, will we see religion and communally divisive agendas taking center stage in Indian politics?
You talked about secularism and democracy while opposing the Hindu party BJP. However, Congress in Kerala has been in alliance with the Muslim party, Muslim League in Kerala, the state from which you were MP for more than, the state you are the MP for more than 70 years.
Muslim League is a completely secular party.
Right.
There's nothing non-secular about the Muslim League.
Questions are a little disjointed. Sorry about that.
I think the person hasn't studied the Muslim League.
जो मुस्लिम लीग पाकिस्तान के पक्ष में था, वो पाकिस्तान मुस्लिम लीग आज भी पाकिस्तान में है और उसकी हुकूमत भी नवाज शरीफ उसी के प्रोडक्ट थे। लेकिन जो मुस्लिम लीग यानी इंडियन मुस्लिम लीग जो पाकिस्तान के विरोध में थे, वो आज भी केरला में इंडियन मुस्लिम लीग के नाम से जाने जाते हैं। तो कहने का मतलब ये कि जो पाकिस्तान नवाज मुस्लिम लीगी थे, वो तो पाकिस्तान चले गए, उन्होंने बंटवारे का साथ दिया, लेकिन जो हिंदुस्तान में रहे, जो हिंदुस्तान के साथ रहना चाहते थे मुस्लिम लीगी, उन्होंने इंडियन मुस्लिम लीग के नाम से संगठन बनाया, राजनीतिक दल बनाया और उसको चुनाव आयोग ने मान्यता दिया। अगर वो एंटी इंडिया हैं या उनका रोल ठीक नहीं था, भारत विरोधी था, तो उनको मान्यता क्यों दी गई या उनको आज चुनाव लड़ने की इजाज़त क्यों इलेक्शन कमीशन दे रहा है? ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी को समझना चाहिए इलेक्शन आयोग उनके केंद्रीय सरकार के अधीन है। अगर ऐसी बात है तो उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए थी, लेकिन कोई कार्रवाई नहीं हुई, क्योंकि इंडियन मुस्लिम लीग ये हिंदुस्तान नवाज है, ये हिंदुस्तान के साथ रहना चाहते थे, बंटवारे के खिलाफ थे।
आज की जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी है, मोदी और अमित शाह की जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी है, मुझे लगता है ये लेश मात्र भी ज्ञान इनको अपने भारत की राजनीति का नहीं है। पाकिस्तान की राजनीति का हो सकता है, भारत की राजनीति का नहीं है। ये इंडियन यूनियन ऑफ मुस्लिम लीग के फाउंडर इस्माइल कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली के सदस्य थे। इंडियन यूनियन ऑफ मुस्लिम लीग के फाउंडर इस्माइल ने 62 के जंग में अपने बेटे मियां खान को चीन से लड़ने के लिए हिंदुस्तान की आर्मी को सुपुर्द करने की पेशकश की थी। ये वो मुस्लिम लीग है जिसके ई अहमद को अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी ने जिनीवा भेजा था 1993 में। ये वो मुस्लिम लीग है जिससे भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने स्वयं नागपुर म्युनिसिपैलिटी में अलायंस किया, गठबंधन किया म्युनिसिपैलिटी पे कब्जा करने के लिए। आज क्योंकि राहुल गांधी ने बोल दिया, या फिर क्योंकि कोई वो अमित मालवीय नाम का एक प्राणी है, क्योंकि शायद उसको ज्ञान नहीं है, तो अब वो तय करेगा कि साहब मुस्लिम लीग कौन सी मुस्लिम लीग है। ये जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग वो थी जिससे श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी ने गठबंधन किया था। ये वो मुस्लिम लीग नहीं है, ये वो मुस्लिम लीग है जिससे भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने नागपुर में गठबंधन किया था। ये वो मुस्लिम लीग है जिसको अटल जी पसंद करते थे, जिसके मैंने आपको जैसे उदाहरण दिया, जो 1993 में संस्कृत की यूनिवर्सिटी केरला में बनी, वो इसी मुस्लिम लीग ने स्थापित की थी। एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर इसी मुस्लिम लीग का था। इनको ज्ञान नहीं है, ये व्हाट्सएपिया लोग हैं, ये व्हाट्सएप का ज्ञान सरकारों में लगाने लग गए। अब
जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग अलग है और यहाँ केरल में मुस्लिम लीग है वो अलग है। और वो यदि वहाँ की मुस्लिम लीग है पाकिस्तान वाले, तो आज तक के तो उसके रजिस्ट्रेशन समाप्त हो जाता है। लेकिन दिग्भ्रमित करने के लिए लगातार इस प्रकार की बातें वो कर रहे हैं। देखिए एक चीज़ है, पहले जब राहुल गांधी जी जब अध्यक्ष थे तब कहते परिवारवाद चला रहे हैं, उन्होंने अध्यक्ष पद त्याग दिया। उसके बाद भी राहुल गांधी की लोकप्रियता में कमी नहीं आई और भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में निकले तो उन्होंने उसकी सदस्यता ले ली। मतलब अभी तक के हिंदुस्तान में डिफेमेशन केस में इतनी बड़ी सजा किसी को नहीं मिली है जितना राहुल गांधी जी को दिया गया। आज तो एक सामान्य नागरिक हैं, कांग्रेस के नेता हैं, फिर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की इतनी तकलीफ क्यों हो रही है?
मान्यवर, हमें पूछना चाहते हैं, यदि मुस्लिम लीग सेकुलर संगठन है तो जब आपकी मुस्लिम लीग के साथ गठबंधन सरकार थी तो जून 2013 में केरल की मल्लापुरम की जिला परिषद ने प्रस्ताव पारित कर दिया था कि चूंकि वह मुस्लिम बाहुल्य हो गया है, इसलिए लड़कियों की शादी की आयु जो 18 वर्ष थी उसे घटा के 16% कर दी जाए। और मुस्लिम लीग कांग्रेस गठबंधन की सरकार ने उसे मान्यता दे दी थी। बाद में विपक्ष के द्वारा बहुत विषय उठाए जाने के ऊपर उन्होंने उसको पीछे किया था। तो ये सेकुलरिज्म बिल्कुल राहुल गांधी जी की और कांग्रेस पार्टी की बुद्धि के आधार के ऊपर मुस्लिम लीग जो कि 47 में बनी कैसे थी, ये कहते हैं साहब उस मुस्लिम लीग से कोई कनेक्शन नहीं। तो मैं बताना चाहता हूं, आज का पूरा साउथ इंडिया जिस मद्रास प्रेसिडेंसी में था उसमें लगभग सारी सीटें जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग ने पाई थी और 95% वोट पाया था। तो सब चले गए क्या? उसी के तुरंत बाद इसका गठन हुआ। कोई बात नहीं, नाम से ही काफी है। कांग्रेस के नेता कहते हैं पढ़े लिखे नहीं है क्या? मेरा कहना है दिखाई नहीं पड़ता क्या? दूसरा, ऑल इंडिया मजलिसे इत्तिहादुल मुसलमीन के साथ अविभाजित आंध्र प्रदेश में सरकार चला चुके हैं, ये भी सेकुलर है। फुरफुरा शरीफ के गद्दी नशी पीरजादा अब्बास सिद्दीकी के साथ बंगाल में गठबंधन कर चुके हैं, वो भी सेकुलर है। सिमी एक सांस्कृतिक संगठन है, पीएफआई एक सांस्कृतिक संगठन है, वो भी सेकुलरिज्म के प्रतीक हैं। और कांग्रेस पार्टी की जो ये सोच है जो राहुल गांधी वहां पर व्यक्त कर रहे हैं, इस सोच के अनुसार तो बड़े से बड़े आतंकवाद के आरोपी भी सिर्फ भटके हुए नौजवान हैं।
राहुल गांधी जी ये साबित कर रहे हैं कि वो कुछ भी कह सकते हैं जब विदेश जाते हैं, और ना तो उसका सत्य ना तथ्य से कोई लेना देना। भारत के प्रधानमंत्री के सबको वो बुरा कहेंगे, सिर्फ अपने आप को अच्छा पाते हैं। अब उन्होंने कह दिया कि मुस्लिम लीग जो है सेक्युलर पार्टी है, उससे ज्यादा कोई सेक्युलर पार्टी ही नहीं है। दुनिया जानती है कि मुस्लिम लीग क्या है, कैसे वो धर्मनिरपेक्ष हो गया। और राहुल गांधी जी बिल्कुल जो सबकी जानकारी है उसके विपरीत बोलते हैं। लेकिन कांग्रेस पार्टी भी अच्छी फंसी हुई है, क्योंकि वो उनके वरिष्ठ नेता है, तो वाहवाही तो करनी पड़ेगी उनको। बाकी दुनिया हंसे उन पर, दुनिया उनके शब्दों को नकार दे, दुनिया उनसे बिल्कुल अलग माने कि इनकी सोच बिल्कुल गलत है, लेकिन राहुल गांधी जी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता और कांग्रेस के पार्टी के पास कोई चारा नहीं है, वो उनको वाहवाही तो करनी पड़ेगी। उनके वो वरिष्ठ नेता है नेहरू गांधी परिवार से।
जिन लोगों को वोट बैंक के वायरस ने ग्रसित करके रखा है, उनकी विकृत सेकुलरिज्म की परिभाषा में देश के और समाज के विभाजन के लिए जिम्मेदार दल भी सेकुलर बन सकते हैं। कल तो वो आईसिस को भी सेकुलर कह सकते हैं। ये वही लोग हैं जो अफजल गुरु और याकूब मेमन को हालात का मारा और न्याय प्रणाली से प्रताड़ित भी बताते हैं। ये वही लोग हैं जो आईएसएफ जैसे दलों के साथ गठबंधन भी करते हैं, जिस पर उन्हीं के नेता आपत्ति भी दर्ज करते हैं। और एक और तो देश के विभाजन के लिए जिम्मेदार जो दल है, जो सोच है, वो तो सेकुलर कहलाती है, पर हिंदू टेरर हो जाता है, सैफरन टेरर हो जाता है। किस प्रकार से कृष्ण जी जिहाद का पाठ सिखा रहे थे अर्जुन जी को, ये भी कह लेते हैं। तो ये उनकी विकृत वोट बैंक की राजनीति के चलते इस प्रकार के वक्तव्य देते हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी, जिसको करोड़ों लोगों ने देश में एक नहीं 2 बार चुनकर लाने का काम किया है, उसको वो नफरती बुलाते हैं और मुस्लिम लीग को सेकुलर कहते हैं। दरअसल कांग्रेस पार्टी तो खुद नफरत की जननी है।
See the very word Indian Union Muslim League. It obviously means that it's a party only for the Muslims. There are no Hindus there, there are no Christians there, there has never been, will never be. See, once upon a time, let's say about 30 years back, 40 years back, Indian Muslim League was a more balanced party, in terms of ideology. See, take it over the past 15, 20 years. The party has become completely silent on extremism, on fundamentalism. Kerala has become the laboratory for the ISIS, for fundamentalism, and these people don't say a word.
All right, so now a political war is brewing in Indian politics over the Muslim League. But whose Muslim League? Which Muslim League are we talking about? Is this an absolutely unnecessary controversy? And are we likely to see more of these in the run-up to 2024? Let's put those questions to our guests. Neeraj Mishra, spokesperson for the Congress, is with us on the show. Gautam Mukherjee, a political analyst and a supporter of the BJP, is with us. Manasvi Thapar, political analyst and a supporter of the Congress, also with us. Gautam Mukherjee, I know you are not a spokesperson for the BJP, but as a political analyst who supports the BJP, I will ask you this question. And it's a very fundamental question. We all know that there is a difference between Jinnah's Muslim League and
from
I
everything
haven't.
that you played for us just now.
One second, Gautam, I haven't asked you my question yet.
distinction.
I haven't asked
Sorry?
you my question yet. I haven't asked you my
Okay.
question yet. So I am
right.
just saying, do we not know that there is a difference between Jinnah's Muslim League and the Indian Union of Muslim League? I mean, Amit Malviya says that Rahul Gandhi is being disingenuous. Isn't the BJP being disingenuous by actually linking the Indian Union of Muslim League, which is an Indian political party with its base in Kerala, to Jinnah's Muslim League? Pawan Khera in his responses even said this is the same Indian Union of Muslim League whose 2 members were roped in by the BJP in the Nagpur municipal corporations in 2012. What exactly is this controversy all about?
Well, I pretty much anticipated you would frame it like this. The point is, Neha, that at independence or before, it was Pakistan, pro-Pakistan or anti-Pakistan. Are you wanting to create a Pakistan or are you willing to stay in India? That was the question. Today, secularism has been redefined. It is that BJP is naturally communal in the eyes of the Congress. And if you are anti-BJP, then you are automatically secular. If you are Muslim and you're promoting the ISIS and so on in a anti-national manner in the state of Kerala, that's okay, that's secular. It's not, it's nothing to do with Hindus, because Hindus are communal, and so to oppose Hindus is secular. So this is the kind of nonsense that we are being subjected to. And, you know, there's no point playing semantics with Jinnah, poor man, long gone, and his country is a ruin. So let's leave it alone. Our friend here, Mr. Gandhi, is busy trying to create a similar kind of ruin in India, but it is very unlikely to succeed because his logic is totally flawed.
Okay, I still do not understand the argument that is being made. But since there is so much talk about Jinnah, and I don't even know how Jinnah came into the picture, because I am saying again, this is the Indian Union of Muslim League that we're talking about. It's an Indian political party based in Kerala. But just for the benefit of our viewers, an interesting and a fun fact that we'd like to share, both with Gautam Mukherjee and with our viewers. LK Advani, till a few years ago, one of the tallest leaders of the BJP, former Deputy Prime Minister of India, on a visit to Pakistan, had actually praised Jinnah, calling him a secular leader. I will leave it at that. Can we just bring that graphic up before I go across to the Congress spokesperson? Advani describing Pakistan's founding father as secular and an ambassador of Hindu-Muslim unity. Yes, many would argue that LK Advani paid a heavy political price for making that statement on Pakistani soil. The RSS and the Sangh Parivar were clearly not amused. But as I keep saying, ladies and gentlemen, why are we even talking about Jinnah? But Neeraj Mishra, come in here. The BJP is saying, good Lord, Rahul Gandhi thinks Jinnah's Muslim League is a secular party. The party that was responsible for India's partition along religious lines is a secular party. Extremely unfortunate that some people in India still consider the person who supports the Muslim League as secular. Gautam Mukherjee says the problem with the Congress party is, and these are his words, not mine, that Hindu bashing equals secularism, and that is the kind of politics that Rahul Gandhi espouses. Your response?
Now, it just makes me laugh what the BJP has been saying about the Indian Union of Muslim League. But before clearing all the facts, I would like to congratulate you and thank you, because Neha, I have been debating on this topic since morning, and I think this is the most comprehensive report which has been presented to the audience. So congratulations on that. When it comes to the Indian Union of Muslim League, as the chairman of the Congress Communication Cell was saying in the video package, that this is India's political party, which has a base in Kerala and certain parts of southern India also. This is the same party whose founder was the member of the Constituent Assembly. And he's the same person, Mr. Ismail, during the 1962 Indo-Chinese War, he had instructed his son to join the Indian army and go to the borders. So a party whose founder instructed his son to go and fight for India's cause, how can you term them anti-national and non-secular? Like Mr. Khera was saying, you had Mr. Bashir, the education minister in Kerala, who came from IUML. In 1993, they set up the biggest Sanskrit university, which is there in Kerala. Then you have, this is the same IUML, which was in an alliance. The people from IUML were roped in by the BJP in 2012. Why I was laughing, Neha, KJ Alphonse, who I think is also the president of BJP's Kerala unit, where BJP is zero, this person was saying that 30 years back, when then IUML used to be a very balanced party. But this is what we are citing is from 2012. You've had Atalji sending their minister to Geneva and represent India there. So the larger question, the larger takeaway from Neha, from Rahul Gandhi's press conference yesterday was that he actually dismantled the propaganda which BJP and BJP ideologues or sympathizers were promoting. That Rahul Gandhi is seeking outside support. To a question at the National Press Club, Mr. Gandhi clearly said, this is India's fight. This is opposition's fight. This is people's fight. And we are fighting for a dialogue. We are fighting for the larger ecosystem which was created by Mr. Mahatma Gandhi, Mr. Ambedkar, and all those great personalities by whose presence and by whose name India is still known. So the West, especially US, should look at it this way, that the Indian opposition is fighting there. They have their questions, they have their answers, but this is a fight which is to be fought on Indian soil, and this is a fight which we are fighting, and we will win. The larger propaganda which the BJP was trying to make, it has been dismantled. So this was the largest takeaway from the press conference.
Okay, it's interesting. Every time Rahul Gandhi goes abroad, he seems to make multiple headlines, and then you have a whole rash of reactions coming in from the government and cabinet ministers. Of course, the BJP has also accused Rahul Gandhi of insulting India abroad. But before I go across to Manasvi Thapar, Gautam Mukherjee, the question is simply this. You said Hindu bashing equals secularism in the eyes of some. The BJP is known to espouse Hindutva politics, right? They openly talk about the rights of the Hindus. Now, if let's say a political party, and I'm just asking this out of sheer curiosity as an observer, if a particular political party, let's say, does espouse the cause of a minority community, in this case, the Indian Union of Muslim League. You could give another example of Asaduddin Owaisi's AIMIM. Do they become automatically anti-national because they are espousing, the interests and rights of a particular minority community? Does that automatically make them anti-national, and therefore anyone backing them is anti-national? What is the larger argument here?
Well, it doesn't make them automatically anti-national in theory, but in practice, the kind of statements they make and the kind of people they tend to back, including Pakistanis and people inimical to the Indian Union, including statements which are actually dubious in terms of the constitutional position and
you want to give us
communal
examples?
Things such as take the police away for 15 minutes and we will show you what we can do, as Owaisi's party did famously. Rahul Gandhi abroad will make wild statements for effect, and when he comes back here, especially if there's a PIL or two filed, he's busy running around, appearing in different courts, apologizing and hoping it doesn't put him in jail.
Okay, I'm not sure who he apologized to, Gautam Mukherjee. He faced disqualification as a member of parliament in a defamation case. He's in fact even said on this tour of the US that he has faced the maximum punishment in this country for alleged defamation. But I'm not sure who he's apologized to, because he's one guy who's dug his heels in.
He's apologized about half a dozen times, Neha.
Okay, give us examples.
And in fact, he thought that was the way out.
Okay.
All I had to do
what did he apologize
is finally
for?
Go to the court and say, I'm so sorry, and that's it.
Okay, maybe I'm not aware. Okay, enhance my knowledge. Who did he apologize to and for what?
Oh, calling people names, saying things mainly against Modi. He's been hauled up in front of various courts and ended up apologizing.
Okay,
even making
Neeraj
statements
Mishra, please jog my memory.
And apologizing for them. But
Okay.
coming back to these Muslim parties who claim to be secular or who are getting a clean chit from Rahul Gandhi, who calls them secular, this is absurd in the extreme and has everything to do with the meaning of secular in terms of how the Congress party sees it.
Okay, you know, I can understand if you question somebody's definition of secularism. The larger point that I was making was, is it fair to draw a linkage between an Indian political party that speaks for the Muslims and Jinnah's political party? But before I go across to Manasvi Thapar, Neeraj Mishra, it's only fair that as the official spokesperson of the Congress party, I allow you to respond to what Gautam Mukherjee is saying. Maybe I am aging and my memory is failing me. When exactly did Rahul Gandhi apologize? Who did he apologize to and for what? Because Gautam Mukherjee insists he's apologized many times.
Yeah, so why I was laughing is this is the problem with the BJP and the ecosystem which is around the BJP. They have a problem with Mr. Gandhi because he's the only person who's out there and who's telling them the facts that this nation is facing the highest inflation. This nation is facing highest unemployment. And when he talks about all these facts, the BJP and the fake news factory and that ecosystem comes out with hilarious comments. So the instance which he is quoting, which he has forgotten actually, that instance is when the Congress president, then Congress president, Mr. Gandhi said, Chaukidar chor hai. He still goes by that, saying Chaukidar chor hai. The only thing which he said in the Supreme Court was that I shouldn't have used Supreme Court's statement. Only on that point he had said that I shouldn't have. But he stayed on the fact that Chaukidar chor hai. And this is what we are saying, seeing when it comes to the Modani Ghotala, Modi and Adani's Ghotala, where we are asking where that 20,000 crores have come from. So all these things have been there. One more point, Neha, that we also should know that this Hindu Mahasabha and their prodigies like the RSS and the BJP have always had a very symbiotic relation with Jinnah's Muslim League. So these people were always in alliance. These people were the one due to whom that the country got partitioned and the brunt was faced by millions of people across the borders here and there also. So these people will try to distract you from the main issues of unemployment, of inflation, of rising education bills, of rising hospital bills, and all the things, and especially the harmony which has been dismantled in this country for last 9 years. So these people will try to just distract you from that. It is our job, it is our duty to ask them questions because it's been 9 years. If it would have been 1 or 2 years, they could have peddled all these propaganda. But now it has been 9 years.
Okay, now, you know, you're entitled to your viewpoint, the BJP is entitled to theirs. The question really is, do these divisive agendas work? Do they yield rich political dividends? Manasvi Thapar, thank you for waiting patiently. Let me come to you now. We've heard both sides and their arguments, but, you know, I want to raise a larger issue here. In the run-up to the Karnataka elections, there were huge religious controversies over issues such as hijab, halal. Some right-wing Hindu groups even called for an economic boycott of Muslims. And then right towards the end, there was a major controversy over Bajrang Dal being equated with Bajrang Bali, Lord Hanuman, this, that and the other. Of course, this did not work to the advantage of the BJP as maybe it had hoped it would. Ultimately, the Congress registered a thumping win in Karnataka. However, the larger question is, with the 2024 general election now less than a year away, are we going to increasingly see these religious and communally polarizing issues take center stage in Indian politics? Because Manasvi Thapar, even though you are a supporter of the Congress, you will have to accept that, you know, winning a state election is one thing and winning the national election is quite another. We know that the BJP has been winning historic mandates at the national level since 2014. How is 2024 going to be any different? Can you continue to talk about what you refer to as people's issues and hope to beat Modi and Amit Shah's BJP in 2024?
So, if for today's context, if we discuss about what happened and we take it to the national center stage, it was just a 25-second video of a anchor asking a question to Rahul Gandhi, and there was a word of Muslim League and secularism. It's a secular party, and suddenly the BJP entire ecosystem said that he's talking about Jinnah's Muslim League, which for any student of history or student of politics or student of general knowledge would know that All India Muslim League was completely dissolved after independence in the month of December 1947. It was completely dissolved from India. And further, Pakistan, the successor of that particular political party, was Pakistan Muslim League, which eventually had several different political offsprings out of it. In 1976, in Bangladesh, Muslim League was brought back in Bangladesh specifically, and Indian Union of Muslim League is completely independent from what Amit Malviya is referring to. Now, the major question what comes to my mind is, even Congress is not thinking about Rahul Gandhi the way Amit Malviya and BJP gives that kind of importance to Rahul Gandhi. They are waiting for him to go to any country to make a speech and find 2-3 words there, a line from there, and make the biggest headlines of that particular day. They have no other agenda. The biggest question what comes to my mind is, in a 21st century India, are we only going to talk about hijab, halal, and how Bajrang Bali, Bajrang Dal, and how previously we were glorious, how Sone Ki Chidiya were in the past, but today we have no role of taking this country forward in the 21st century India. What is my agenda as a political party? How do I take the 140 crores Indian to a developed nation? What is my path? What is my march towards it? Are we going to have a fight between Hindus and Muslims, and then we say that whoever is the largest vote bank will vote for it? What is the developmental scientific agenda for this nation? What is the agenda to create an 100% employed country? What is an agenda to fight corruption? What is the agenda to create an ecosystem for the country wherein we see lots of people leave this country? Why is brain drain, money drain happening in our country? Do we have these kind of agendas? Why don't we have an agenda in this country that developed nations would want to be in India at massive scale? Why don't we discuss on these ideas? We don't debate on these ideas. What are we debating on? The saddest part is that today, the entire day, the debates have been on Muslim League, because Amit Malviya thought that Rahul Gandhi is saying it's Jinnah's Muslim League, and that is why the BJP wants us to debate on Muslim League. So what are we going to go? Where are we heading towards? And the same Jinnah, in one of your briefs, you said LK Advani ji, the tallest leader, not only of BJP, the tallest leader this country had, said that he was secular. That was his personal thought, which he thought. He may had a political repercussions after that, but that was a belief of a tallest leader of this country. So why do we want to talk about Jinnah, Jawaharlal Nehru, and why don't we talk about our agenda of 21st century of India right now?
Okay, I promise you, Manasvi Thapar, I don't have any interest in talking about Jinnah. I know you're referring to the BJP. But you know, the trouble is, I would be very happy to talk about present-day India and not keep going back to the past and talk about Jinnah and Nehru. But the trouble is that these are the issues that are, in a sense, setting the political narrative in this country. And the reason we cannot ignore them is because, yes, this is an election year. Fortunately or unfortunately, these issues will continue to make headlines. Manasvi, I will come back to you. Gautam Mukherjee, let me ask you this question. Respond to two specific questions. Number one, the Congress party says the party that you support, the BJP and its, larger parivar, the Hindu Mahasabha, for example, they say was in league with Jinnah. And it is actually both these entities that were equally responsible for India's partition. They've also cited the example of how the Indian Union of Muslim League was used by the BJP in the 2012 Nagpur municipal elections. Please respond to that specific question. And also, the larger issue of for how long will we go on discussing and debating Hindus versus Muslims in this country? I mean, it's 2023. Isn't it time we talked about unemployment? Isn't it time we talked about jobs? Isn't it time we talked about the economic situation and how we can move ahead in this country? We see ourselves as an aspiring global superpower. Why do we keep harping on the past?
Well, number one, I don't know anything about this Nagpur question you raised, so I will skip that one. Second, when you talk of how long will we talk of Hindu and Muslim, I believe we will have to talk about this because of the twisted use of the word secular, and perhaps only when the constitution is amended and secular, the word which was slipped in during the emergency without discussion by Indira Gandhi, if it is removed and we go back to being a republic as opposed to a secular republic, then we will not have this weaponized as it is now. The third question
Now
I
raising
forget.
questions about, you're raising questions about Indira Gandhi inserting the word secular into the preamble to India's constitution. You think this should never have been done?
No, it was sneaked in during the emergency without discussion. That and socialists too. I mean, they were just put in there. It is a very typical Congress thing. That's how 370 was slipped in, which was a temporary provision that lasted decades and decades. And
so you would
these
like
two
to
have
see them both
caused
amended?
nothing but trouble since.
Okay, trouble since.
Secularism
So would you
is
like to see
still,
them amended?
ripping the country apart. As far as socialism goes, it's dead in the water, except in places like Bengal and Kerala, where secularism has been twisted to mean Islamist.
Okay, now the Congress keeps saying, the BJP's opposition keeps saying they want to change the constitution. So I'm going to ask you, would you like to see these amended in the Indian constitution?
Absolutely. I have been saying this time and again on national television that the constitution is unwieldy, out of date, and needs multiple amendments. But amongst the many, this word secularism must be deleted. It is, it doesn't belong there, especially when it is used every day in politics as a weaponized item between the Congress-led part of the opposition.
You don't think the founding fathers of this country, you don't think Dr. B.R. Ambedkar envisioned us as a secular republic? They didn't.
No,
only Indira Gandhi
it was debated for 2 days in the Constituent Assembly and it was left out. But it was sneaked in 1976
but we were
by
not
Indira
declared,
Gandhi.
Okay, but we were not declared a Hindu Rashtra in 1947 as Pakistan was declared a theocratic Muslim state. You agree?
Sorry?
We were not declared a Hindu Rashtra in 1947 as Pakistan was declared a theocratic state, correct?
I haven't said Hindu Rashtra, though personally I think that should put paid to all this nonsense once and for all. But I am saying in no uncertain terms, this secular word was sneaked in and needs to be cut out.
Okay, wonderful. Neeraj Mishra, the secular word needs to go away from India's constitution, and let's go a step further. Let's just call ourselves a Hindu Rashtra and be done with it, says Gautam Mukherjee. But I want to ask you a larger question here. You know, when your party won the Karnataka elections, Rahul Gandhi came out and said, hate has lost, love has won, मोहब्बत की दुकान हमने लगाई है, मोहब्बत की जीत हुई है. But, you know, I do want to ask you this. While it is true that the politics of hijab and halal and Bajrang Dali did not work for the BJP in Karnataka, fact of the matter is this country has been voting overwhelmingly for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, for the BJP and for what the BJP stands for since 2014. How do you hope to change that in 2024 by talking about Mohabbat ki dukaan? How is that going to happen? You would agree that winning Karnataka and winning India are two very different things.
I totally agree with you. But Neha, I would like to just mention this, that whatever Mr. Mukherjee said is really shameful. It is shameful because he is disrespecting the 5,000-year-old history of this great nation, which has been founded on the principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where we believe that the entire world is our family and we do not discriminate on the basis of religion. So whatever he's saying, I think he must have read that book called Bunch of Thoughts, from where the entire ecosystem derives their information. So this just I wanted to put on record. What you were saying, Neha, is absolutely true. And this question was asked to Mr. Gandhi yesterday as well, that winning Karnataka doesn't mean that you are going to win in the general election. So our response has been very clear that in throughout the history of this country, there has been phases where a particular ideology which discriminates on the basis of religion or maybe on the basis of caste, culture, or creed have been in power at certain points of time. Mr. Gandhi quoted that in 1930s, when the Hindu Mahasabha was actually were in hand in glove with the Muslim League and were proposing the two nation theory, he was quoting the same incident. Then also the Congress party and the entire architecture of the Congress. Neha, we need to understand what Mr. Gandhi was saying, that Congress is not only a political party, it is a structure. It is a structure which has been created on the principles of Indianness, on the principles of how the Indian society works. It is a continuous dialogue, a continuous discussion between its stakeholders. And this is why we are saying that the country has had a lot. Now we have to seek answers from the ruling party about the highest inflation which there is. Neha, we've always misquote that the inflation rate is 8%, but actually if you equate to the base year of 2004, which the UPA government was doing, the inflation rate is above 17%, which is the highest. You have the highest unemployment rate for last 40 years. The prices of everything is going up. For example, a LPG cylinder is now 170% costlier than what it used to be in 2014. And then you have a great disparity between the people who have money in their hands and the total number of masses, the total people who don't have basic disposable income. So we need to seek answers, and that is the larger point. What the Congress party is saying, that now it's time for the BJP to give answers what they have done in last 9 years.
Okay, you know, Neeraj Mishra, as the opposition, you are well within your rights to question the government. They can also go on making political attacks on you. It is their right, perhaps, as a political party in this country. But I want to ask you this question, that, you know, you say that Rahul Gandhi talks about the idea of India. But my point simply is that, you know, you would agree that in order for your message to have any real meaning and significance at the end of the day, you've got to stay relevant in politics, in people's mind space. You've got to have the requisite numbers in parliament. Rahul Gandhi, as of today, is not even a member of parliament. In 2014, your party was reduced to its lowest Lok Sabha figures ever. My question is, by talking about the idea of India, do you believe the Congress party can hold on to its political relevance? Because over the last 9 years, we have been talking about the Congress facing its biggest ever existential crisis. If you want people to listen to you and your leaders, if you want to be taken seriously, then you've got to win elections. My point is, will this narrative alone help you win elections, help you regain political ground, which you've obviously lost in the last 9 years?
So Neha, we should always talk on facts, and this is true that for 2014 and in 2019, the numbers did not favor the Congress party. But then also, there were more than 12 crore people out of the 67 crores who voted in 2019 who voted for the Congress and its ideology. And we had a scattered opposition. We all should agree to this. So there are people, there is only 36 or 35% people who voted for BJP's agenda and whatever they, the jumlas which they had given to the country.
But look at their numbers, so, Neeraj. Look at their numbers. They've been winning historic mandates. Yes.
Neha, I'm not like other spokespersons of other parties who don't agree to what the facts are. Am I audible, Neha?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you,
yes.
Neeraj.
So I'm saying I totally base my arguments on facts. And this is true that in last 2 general elections, we could not convince the people of this country to vote for us. But then again, Neha, this fight is on 2 fronts. First is yes to win general elections because we are a political party. We are not an NGO. But then the second and the larger fight which is there, it is to save the idea of India. The main idea for which my forefather, your forefathers have fought, and the idea to make this nation the greatest nation on this planet Earth. What Mr. Gandhi was saying, the biggest human capital which is technologically literate is with this country, and then we have the highest number of unemployed people in this country. Do you see the stark contrast? And one more thing, Neha, the entire Indian media has missed this. You see how what greatness Mr. Gandhi showed yesterday when the question about Russia and India's foreign policy was asked. Mr. Gandhi said, "We would, you won't like it," but Mr. Gandhi was saying that we would have dealt with this issue on a similar lines what the BJP has done. Though BJP has derived this from Nehru's foreign policy, but they will never acknowledge it. So you, yes, and so, but you have a leader who's acknowledging that the party which he's opposed to has actually done good when it comes to Russia-India relations.
Okay, point taken. You are saying he's kind of supported the government stand on Russia, but that's not something the BJP talks about. Very quickly, Gautam Mukherjee, because I'm running out of time. You know, like I said earlier, in Karnataka, raising issues such as hijab, halal and Bajrang Dal did not work for the BJP. Now in the run-up to 2024, are we going to increasingly hear about issues like Jinnah? These are seen as communally polarizing issues. You know, the Congress and the opposition say that if the BJP is confident about its track record, about its report card, about having delivered on its promises and about having made India a better place, a better country in the last 9 years, then why not talk about their work? Why not talk about their track record? Why keep bringing up these communally polarizing issues? What would your response to that be? And are we going to see more and more of this in the run-up to 2024?
Well, you know, one gets a bit sick of the virtue signaling, this idea that the Nehruvian idea of India is the only one worth following. I personally reject that outright. I think there's a lot of claptrap in there, and it doesn't really help. Now, talking of issues, the development agenda that the BJP has executed between 2014 and now is spectacular and unprecedented. However, I think what is happening now is it doesn't touch the lives of people as much as I will give you 1,000 rupees for this, 3,000 rupees for that, and 5,000 rupees for that on a monthly basis.
Okay, you're talking about
this, even though, as we talked yesterday, a lot of welfareism is being practiced by the BJP, it certainly needs to counter this business of giving cash in people's hands, which both the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress.
Okay, point taken, but you're not answering my question.
And it has touched the chord with the people. Now, why don't they talk of agendas? Well, I think what the BJP now represents is clearly development. We had an unexpected 7.2% growth in
No, I'm
GDP
talking
in
about taking it to the people. Talk about it is what I'm saying.
We've had the inflation rate come down in 18 months.
Okay. You know, I have very little time, so I can't let you, you know, rattle off all the statistics that you might have, Gautam Mukherjee. My point simply was, we still hear about Jinnah. That is my point. Manasvi Thapar, very, very quick response. Yes, hijab, halal and Bajrang Dal did not help the BJP in Karnataka. The BJP accuses the Congress of practicing the politics of freebies. Of course, they've done something similar in Uttar Pradesh, but they call that welfareism. That apart, I'm going to ask you again. Given the historic mandates Prime Minister Modi has been winning since 2014, does the Congress party really believe that winning Karnataka means that they're going to win 2024? Also remember that 2024, ahead of the elections, we're going to, in all likelihood, see the inauguration of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, a very emotive issue in this country.
See, when you have to fight with BJP, you have to think like BJP, and by winning Karnataka, there is no guarantee that you can take up the center. And I think in 2018 also, the same kind of situation happened, wherein Congress won Karnataka, and thereby
State
after
elections
that,
and
we
lost the
also
general
won Madhya
election.
Pradesh,
Yes.
Rajasthan, and then general election was something which was completely different. So we cannot give this benefit of doubt to the Congress that by Karnataka winning, though it's a very good mandate for them, they can convert it into a central winning factor. I don't think so. It is too early to comment on that factor point. But having said that, the momentum is different. There is anti-incumbency there, and there is some kind of a shift in the opposition parties
Okay.
also. There is some unity also which is coming up, but it is very early. It is at the nascent stage. Anyone could say that you can fight against BJP. BJP is very strong, very intact. They have a cadre-based formula which is very strong for them, be it in Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, or all the regions wherever they are strong. So it is a difficult fight. It is not an impossible fight, but we can't say that there could be a complete change of fortunes against the BJP. Right now, I think BJP is very strongly held. These
Okay,
kind of
I'm glad you're
mistakes
being
we cannot
realistic.
avoid.
I'm glad you're being realistic, Manasvi Thapar, that when it comes to a general election, the picture is completely different compared to a state election. But really, the larger question I wanted to raise on my show is simply this. Are we going to hear more and more about issues like Jinnah in the run-up to 2024? I guess we will find out. On that note, thanks very much to all my guests for joining me, and thanks to the viewers for watching.